women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace.
The world marked the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation on the 6th of February 2025 under the powerful theme, Stepping Up the Pace, Strengthening Alliances and Building Movements to End FGM. This year's message is clear. It's time to accelerate our efforts to stamp out female genital mutilation (FGM) in Nigeria. Let's start with the numbers. According to the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF), Nigeria is home to nearly 20 million survivors of FGM. That's about one-fifth of the global total reported by the World Health Organization, which estimates over 200 million women and girls have undergone the procedure worldwide. Despite some pockets of progress, a modest 5% drop in FGM prevalence in selected states over the past 5 years, reported by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, overall rates remain stubbornly high due to deeply entrenched cultural practices. The press conference at the Ministry of Women Affairs on the 6th of February brought together influential voices. Nigeria's Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, sets the tone by stressing that our commitment to eradicating FGM must now match the urgency of its impact. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mariam Ismail Keshinro, called for the mobilization of critical stakeholders such as the policymakers, law enforcement agencies, traditional and religious leaders, civil societies, and the media to intensify the fight against FGM. The representative from the United Nations Population Fund called for faster, more aggressive local action, while the United Nations Children's Fund representative underlined our daunting statistic of 20 million survivors. The representative of the Minister of Health acknowledged that despite progress, enforcement and community engagement continue to pose significant challenges. Law and order were also on the agenda as Kemi Alao Eshiet, representing the commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, highlighted the importance of maintaining order during these advocacy activities. Architect Lola Ibrahim, president of the Wave Foundation, delivered an impassioned plea for action, saying, "We need policies that are not just written, but enforced, and communities that are educated to embrace change." After the press briefing, hundreds of supporters joined a 5-kilometer solidarity walk from the Ministry of Women Affairs to the National Assembly. This march culminated in the presentation of a charter of demands to the Speaker of the National Assembly. The charter calls for several urgent actions. It demands a review and enactment of comprehensive national laws that explicitly criminalize all forms of FGM, ensuring uniformity across states. The charter calls for better training and capacity building for first responders and a monitoring framework to ensure that laws against FGM are effectively implemented. It emphasizes the need for higher federal budget allocations to support public awareness campaigns, survivor services, and grassroots initiatives. The demands include the establishment of more rehabilitation centers that offer medical, psychological, and legal support. Finally, the Charter advocates for policies that champion girls' education and broader reforms to promote gender equality. When we look at other African countries, we see a promising contrast. In Ethiopia, coordinated government policies and strong community outreach have driven FGM rates down from nearly 80% to 25% in some regions over the past decade. Similarly, Kenya's legal reforms and grassroots campaigns have resulted in significant reductions. International organizations like the United Nations Population Fund and the United Nations Information Service, along with advocacy groups such as Women's Voices Now, Equality Now, FIDA International, that is the International Federation of Women Lawyers and its Nigerian chapter, and FGM European Union and the Wave Foundation all agree Nigeria must move from sporadic progress to a consistent nationwide strategy. So, what does stepping up the pace really mean for Nigeria? It is a call for faster policy implementation, stronger legal enforcement, and deeper community education. Nigeria has laid the groundwork, but now it must harness the collective momentum of government bodies, local and international NGOs, and community leaders to truly turn the tide on FGM. And now, here is a question for you. Given the encouraging strides made by Ethiopia and Kenya, what innovative, locally tailored strategies should Nigeria implement next to ensure that our legal and community efforts translate into a decisive end to female genital mutilation? Your ideas could be the spark that accelerates change.